Press the bell icon on the YouTube app to never miss a video from Newslaundry.
Welcome to Newslaundry Chhota Hafta. For the full episode, subscribe because it is behind the paywall and only subscribers get access to uncut, complete content. Newslaundry Hafta is our weekly wrap of all that made the news, all that didn't, and all that should have and all that shouldn't have. We agree, we disagree, we critique, and occasionally we beat each other up. But it's all good fun. Subscribe.
This is a Newslaundry podcast and you're listening to NL Hafta.
अंग्रेज अपना लगान और न्यूज़लॉन्ड्री अपना हफ्ता कभी नहीं छोड़ते. We are back in our studio from our last week's recording on location where many of our subscribers turned up. Thank you guys for coming. Thank you guys for participating. I'm sorry I couldn't make it a more fancy evening, but I promise the next one will be, we'll have a high tea. They won't just be chai samosa.
We should have wine and cheese to make up for this.
अच्छा,
High
okay.
tea से नहीं होगा.
High tea
French
से नहीं.
wine or French cheese.
French cheese, Swiss cheese or French wine. ठीक है, okay, Manisha. We shall do that. We shall deduct her annual salary also. But yeah, but next time we shall make it a little more accessible and fancy. But thank you for coming and participating. Today I shall introduce the panel, after which I shall make the announcements we have. But someone asked me, by the way, that Angrez apna lagan or Newslaundry apna hafta nahi chhodte. What does this mean? This person says I'm not very good at Hindi. So, tumhare liye do guna lagan for not knowing what that means. Lagan was the tax that was imposed on us Indians by the British. So, if you've seen the film Lagan, it is tax. So, the dialogue was that no matter whether there's a drought or whether there's a death in your family, we will not leave the Lagan. The film Lagan is about, we've had terrible 2 years. Don't charge us the Lagan. But they got do guna Lagan. So, while the British used to say, Angrez hum Lagan nahi chhodte, we say hum apna hafta nahi chhodte.
I wonder if the British actually said that.
Pun on the word hafta, because our program is called Hafta, but hafta is also the extortion that goons do of shopkeepers every week. So it's a very layered joke, you see. The person who asked, I hope it's clear now.
You did come up with this, right? This slogan.
Anything?
Really good, yeah.
Thank you.
It's really nice.
Thank you.
Now I'm thinking of how layered it is actually.
Isn't it a little late after some 260 episodes? You guys are finally acknowledging that this tagline is kick-ass.
No, I have always acknowledged it. She's just acknowledging
Manisha is
it.
waking up to it.
Yeah, because obviously anything that I do is always acknowledged, if at all. ये तो इस subscriber के बहाने acknowledge हो गया, नहीं तो ये भी नहीं होता. So by the way, in case you're wondering whose voice that was, that is Shelly Walia. She is on our panel today. Shelly discovered podcasts only a couple of years ago. She is currently working as a senior editor, news and podcasts at the Quint. And she is dabbling in areas beyond news. She's an alumni of Columbia School of Journalism. यार, Columbia के बहुत लोग आते हैं. But fancy. हमारी co-founder or my boss also, Madhu's from Columbia.
Yes.
She's worked with Business Standard, Quartz, and she's an introvert on Twitter but an extrovert on Instagram. What does that mean?
Just don't like tweeting all the time. Like, a lot of times I hold myself back on Twitter. That's what I actually mean by
Insta,
that.
you let it go.
Insta, yeah, I don't really care about who sees my photos, who reads my captions. I feel it's a more safe zone and also it's a private account. So I find it more comfortable.
Yeah, Twitter is a lot more angry and hateful.
It is so angry that, like if you, like I consciously avoid going on Twitter in the morning hours. I would rather consume my news or my whatever from any other site. Just go on the app directly and not like rely on the Twitter app.
Okay, so yes, so those of you who rely on Twitter for news, maybe you shouldn't rely on Newslaundry for news.
Not
and
in
also
the early morning, like,
later,
later in the day. Yeah.
So, also on the panel, joining us from his home in Patna is Anand Babu. Hi, Anand.
Yeah, hello.
कब करवा रहे हैं आप बिहार की इलेक्शन?
Anand Babu.
In October, November, but that is for election commission to come up with a schedule.
आप बोलो ना उन्हें, उनको बोलो एक्साइटमेंट जिंदगी में आफ्टर दिल्ली इलेक्शन बहुत सूना लग रहा है यहाँ.
अरे पर मोदी ने खा तो लिया लिट्टी चोखा. He has set the ball rolling with the litti chokha photo that he posted.
Although
so
someone has said, and
we know
maybe,
that the Bihar elections are coming.
Maybe Anand can clarify. Some Uttar Pradesh ka Gustakh has claimed that litti chokha, Bihar is claiming it's theirs. But it's actually it's a UP thing which kind of Bihar stole. A bit like what the Odiyas say happened to the Rasgulla.
Is that true, Anand?
Have you guys stolen litti chokha from UP and claimed it as yours?
No. Actually, few years back, Rajasthanis also claimed that what bhati is also a variant of litti chokha. So no, I think a gram flour, the litti is made from the gram flour, the roasted grams that you have in market. So when it is grinded, the flour, and that is a very household item in Bihar. So I doubt their claim. Though I don't like litti chokha, and many Biharis don't like litti chokha. I think litti chokha has been made more popular by non-resident Biharis.
Yeah, but I will say this, being an expert on food, having directed Ivy on a Plate, the only place in the country where you can actually get litti chokha at a dhaba is Bihar. I mean, UP may claim it as theirs. I did not, whether it was Kanpur, Etawah, Allahabad, Lucknow, Banaras, we did UP like through and through. I mean, maybe there is one odd dhaba, but it's not a menu item. Whereas in Bihar, whether it's Patna or whether it's even in other smaller places of Bihar, you can get litti chokha in pretty much every restaurant. So I would assume that...
No, what I am saying is that its fanciful positioning as a Bihari food has been the work of non-resident Biharis. It is popular here. It is a kind of snack here. Many people eat it, but many don't like it also. So that is, I think, true for many famous things about a region.
Attributed to a particular geography.
But my best favorite thing about this story was India TV reporter found out that Modi paid 150 rupees for litti. So he kept asking his reporter, इस लिट्टी में क्या है कि 150 रुपए की है, जरा पता लगाई.
Why? That's too much for litti.
I think it's too. How much would a plate of litti chokha cost? I'm guessing
$10-20.
$30, $40.
10-20 में क्या मिलता है आजकल?
Anand would know.
I mean, outside Huda City metro station मिल जाएगा 20 रुपए का. Film City में मिलता है 20 रुपए का. It's a pretty so basically it's mostly, it is inexpensive, and it is usually consumed by the labor class because it really gives you that kind of energy that you need. So you actually mix it in a glass. So litti chokha is one variant of using sattu, but you can also mix sattu in a glass of water, have it, and that is actually lunch for a lot of Bihari laborers. Oh, by the way, I'm from Jharkhand.
Oh, I
was
see.
born in Bihar. So I know everything about sattu.
The sattu sharbat is very famous.
Yes, yes.
Sattu sharbat, it is considered to be good for digestion also.
Yes, and
sattu parathas are popular.
I really like sattu parathas.
Yeah, I love
sattu parathas. Very nice.
So in case you guys are wondering what happened to Hafta, let me tell you that clearly we have OD'd on politics and elections, so we are talking
My only complaint against litti is that it has completely sidelined other Bihari delicacies.
such as...
we should tell that to our Prime Minister.
No, one sec. Such as...
Bihar has great...
Can Anand answer?
Please go ahead. मुझे नॉनवेज में पता है चंपारण मटन मुझे अच्छा लगता है.
Champaran mutton. Just name a mutton and a place before that.
No, non-veg I would not like to talk about. I am a vegetarian, within vegetarian only. So it has completely overshadowed other Bihari delicacies. And when you talk about Bihari food, litti chokha is a kind of cliche.
What is the other vegetarian delicacy?
Sabudana.
There is a very long list. It would consume a lot of your time.
Name one.
So it's
vegetarian and delicacy just don't go in the same sentence.
Sabudana, she said.
Don't go to the National Museum.
What is sabut dana? Any dana that's not broken is sabut dana.
नहीं यार साबूदाने का पकौड़ा apparently it's
okay. So anyway, so now we have on our panel of chefs today we have Chef Anand from Bihar telling us about the delicacies of Bihar. We have Chef Manisha Pande who is cooking up a storm in the hills. Give me one Kumaoni dish.
भांगे की चटनी, आलू गुटका and raita.
Raita is a Kumaoni thing.
It's a specific raita made with mustard. Have you traveled? It's the best. You've never had Kumaoni raita?
Bhange is bhang.
It's with
Bhange ki is that thing?
It's bhang. It's bhang. It's a part of bhang.
So you guys don't wait for Holi for your bhang.
It's not bhang. It's just garmi deta hai. It doesn't like get you high or anything. It's the seeds basically.
Perfect for the cold weather.
It's really the best.
We have Mehraj from Kashmir. Other than Rogan Josh, I want to talk about something else before we get to
the cliched
other things that are happening in the country.
No, I mean, everybody knows Kashmir. It's Wazwan and that's...
Okay, and Shelly
I've already
Walia.
talked about the...
Shelly has already spoken about her Jharkhand
connection. Yes.
So, Manisha, what made the news? What are the headlines? I know what we want to discuss, But let's
Trump's impending visit to India on February 24th is making a lot of news.
That's today, February 24th.
No.
Monday.
Today's 21st.
Oh shit, my God. Okay. I've lost. Okay.
So slum dwellers there have been given eviction notices because they're an eyesore, so they must evict their places. I found this really alarming. A report said that Gujarat is going to spend 80 crore for Donald Trump's 3-hour visit to beautify the city. Reuters. It was a Reuters story. Trump's visit may also seal a helicopter deal. That's also going around. But apparently, he said that there's no trade on the menu.
Yep.
So there's confusion about what exactly this visit is all about. Arvind Kejriwal took oath as CM for the third time on Sunday.
Singing a lovely song from the Kejriwal Gharana of...
What did he sing?
Sur. Hum honge kamyab, he sang this time. He stopped singing Insaan ka insaan se ho bhaichara. Now he started singing this one.
What does he mean by kamyab, as in Modi will let him work?
Who knows?
That's what he tweeted.
Well, they're doing
Let
that
me
quite
work.
well. He met Amit Shah, gave him a bouquet. He told Modi also publicly, I wish you had come, you didn't come, but now we must work together and all that. So there's a lot of bonhomie for now between AAP and BJP. There was a little bit of disappointment with regards to Kejriwal's new cabinet, especially because there was a survey that said women overwhelmingly voted for AAP, but the cabinet does not have any women representation. Meanwhile, Saurabh Bhardwaj of AAP has decided that he will organize a Sundarkand recital first Tuesday of every month. He also said that...
Sundarkand is a Hanumanji's this thing.
It's a chapter in Ramayana which praises Hanuman. Praises Lord Hanuman. And he's also said that they want a huge Hanuman statue at the Ram Janmabhoomi temple. So AAP's Hanuman politics did not end with elections. It's ongoing. Babri Masjid demolition accused are going to hold key posts in the Ram Temple Trust.
This is, I think a bit alarming.
Yeah.
Yes.
Meanwhile, Yogi Adityanath has said that not a single person has died by police bullets during anti-CAA protests.
But at the same time, in that speech, he also said, "Agar koi marne aayega, to hum usko marne se kahan rok sakte hain." So I don't know what he was saying, whether he was endorsing people who died.
But this is also not the first time he's saying it. He's maintained that stand ki koi mara hi nahi hai, even after like reports of 23 to 28 deaths. 28 in total, 23 in UP, I believe.
Yeah, so, 23 in,
And I mean, it's on video.
Yeah.
There's been extensive reporting. There's video of police going around beating up protesters, injuring them,
But
going
they are
into homes.
anti-CA protests who just don't violate,
who just deserve it, I
as they have to
suppose.
say.
Shaheen Bagh was in news because the Supreme Court has sent interlocutors there to come to some sort of an agreement because there's just traffic blockade cannot be... some solution has to come to that, and apparently they've opened some road today.
And then they closed it again.
They have?
They opened one and closed one. I don't know how many they opened.
They opened one, which is not the main road but it is nothing to do with the mediation process that's going on. But they have opened a parallel road which goes to Faridabad. But I don't know, did this closing of it happening,
I know that they opened one road and then closed it the same day, and that's what the criticism was, that if it could be opened, that means it clearly wasn't because of the protests, because the police had blocked it.
So this happened today. This happened today.
The police had barricaded it, as it has barricaded a lot of places, like even roads leading up to JNU randomly.
So that was today. I'm just, in case you guys are wondering, today is the 21st of February, Friday.
On Sunday, a section of students from Jamia Millia Islamia released a video on Twitter which showed the police lathi charging students sitting in a library. This is comes after repeated denials of the police that they entered the library and lathi charged. There were counter allegations by the police saying that those sitting in the library weren't really students, they were rioters. And there's lots to discuss in this because some news channels erroneously showed that students were holding stones.
Which were
But
wallets,
one of the students were holding a wallet.
Yeah, I saw that.
And 6 students have got notices after these videos.
Okay. Then in Bhuj, a college principal and 2 staffers have been suspended because they wanted to check, how many girls did they check? Some 60 something girls.
60.
That whether they were menstruating because someone entered the kitchen and the Krishna Swarup Das Ji of the Swami Narayan Bhuj Mandir, which is the trust which apparently runs this school or college, is of the view that menstruating women who cooks for her husband will be certainly reborn as a kutri, which is a bitch, and that if you eat food prepared by menstruating woman even once, then you will definitely be born as a balad, which is an ox. Ahmedabad Mirror reported. So with, patrons such as this, no wonder that this college or school has such rules. But I saw the video of one of the girls who spoke up about this. And she was really giving it off. Good for her. Meanwhile, Mr. Modi says he will stand by the decision of Article 370 Citizen Amendment Act. There's so much confusion in this. I don't think anyone even gives a fuck anymore. It's just, and with this whole UIDI seeks proof of citizenship, there were two, in fact, unrelated cases, but both have to do with this Aadhaar card. That was Assam, right? Where 15 IDs were not
15
enough.
15 documents were rejected
for a
for
woman
this lady.
to prove that she was Indian. And meanwhile, a resident of the old city of Hyderabad has reportedly been asked to prove his Indian citizenship by the Aadhaar, Unique Identification Authority, and is all set to move the High Court once the first hearing concludes, because this UIDAI authority cannot ask you for any such thing because it's not a proof of citizenship anyway.
Their remit is limited to Aadhaar.
Right.
They were created specifically for this, for the biometric identification.
Basically, I think going forward now in NDA 2.0, I don't think anyone gives a fuck about any law. Everyone's just doing what the fuck they want.
This is impunity gone berserk. I mean, everywhere.
Then woman chants Pakistan Zindabad at Asaduddin Owasi's rally in Bengaluru, and a case has been slapped against her.
Yeah, sedition case, and she's been put under 14-day judicial custody.
Yes.
The 20-year-old woman. We can discuss this.
Meanwhile, Waris Pathan of the All India Majlis-e
Ittihadul
Muslimin said in this speech, 15 crore par bhari, 100 crore par bhari padenge 15 crore. He's making this speech full of bombast. So let's start with our guest, shall we, Manisha? What do you want to start with? Do you want to start with the Trump's visit, or do you want to start with women in the army?
I think we should start with the latest, what has happened with Amulya.
Okay, let's go with that. Give context to our listeners first, and just 5 lines, then you can discuss that.
So we've seen this happening time and again, how sedition is being used to sort of like get back at people who have a voice, who want to say something, who want to use their right to dissent. But in this case, it's a little bit more tricky. And also I want to bring in the whole how media is reporting it. And I hope we at the Quint are getting it right. Because there's this girl, to give a little bit of a context, there were 3 Kashmiri students who were recently arrested for raising Pakistan Zindabad slogans in a video. Now, if around the same time...
Where is this?
This is also in Karnataka. Which part of Karnataka, I'm not 100% sure, but in Karnataka. And they were engineering students. And this person, Amulya, had posted on Facebook saying, India Zindabad, Pakistan Zindabad, Nepal Zindabad, Bhutan Zindabad. So you get the drill. Like, she's trying to make a point that stop pitting one country against another, like our politicians love doing. We just concluded the Delhi elections and it was all about, Pakistan ko vote de rahe ho, falane ko vote de rahe ho. So now comes this woman who goes on stage and says, India Zindabad, Pakistan Zindabad. And there is a difference. And before she can complete what she was trying to say, of course, the manner in which it was done can be questioned. She was stopped. And then she's arrested,
by
put
who?
under 14.
She was stopped by who?
She was also like Owaisi. It was an event in which Owaisi was present. He was making a speech. So Owaisi also interrupted. And he also said that we don't...
endorse that.
Yeah, and she has nothing to do with his party and they don't endorse it. And at the same time, her father, who sort of like spoke to some media channels, said something to the effect of she was with some Muslims and... she didn't listen to me. Bigaad diya, exactly. So I just, like, it's becoming harder to grapple with this kind of news where I think we are becoming so thin-skinned that these things don't bother us. But it should, because like this is a bit complicated, this case, but like also in Karnataka, we saw the whole anti-CA play, which was done by students 9 to 11 years of age, and then the students being questioned for hours on end by the police, and sedition being charged on one of the parents and the headmistress. So it's I think we should just talk about that.
Okay. You're saying it's a very serious issue which kind of gets glossed over in the news cycles.
Yes.
Okay. What do you think, Mehraj? Do you think
I think there are 2 aspects to it. One is the question of freedom of speech. Either you are a free speech absolutist, you can say anything as long as you want, as long as it doesn't incite violence, it doesn't lead to violence directly, you can say whatever you want. And the whole idea of free speech is that you should be able to take speech that goes against everything you believe in. It's easy to agree with people. Yeah. It's easy to not agree with people who say something you don't believe in. Either that, or the other approach is that you are in favor of some restrictions on freedom of speech. Now, in that context, the problem is who sets those restrictions.
Yeah.
Does the state, does the society? So in this country, obviously, I mean, there are restrictions everywhere. And which restrictions are imposed when? For that, you have to look into how this free speech idea has been co-opted as an ideological weapon. Right now in India, the problem is because of the BJP is in power, a certain ideological project is in power. This is happening because this is part of the whole agenda that you have to be like hyper patriotic, hyper nationalistic. You have to like abuse Muslims in Pakistan, everybody. That's part of it. But other part is also what ties in with. I mean, we can talk about Trump also in this, which is not just fair. The idea that India story, which everybody used to talk about, is sort of gone so weak. If you remember, even in Vajpayee's time, which was this same kind of ideological project, when people talked about India's greatness, they talked about the growing economy, they talked about India is going to be a superpower and all that.
Shining.
Yes, and now that has sort of gone down. I mean, you can't even strike a trade deal with the US, economy is in the doldrums. So you have to create this bombast, you have to create this forced kind of a nationalism and make people believe in it. And it also shows the success of the BJP, how far out they have moved the narrative, how far out they have moved the Overton window, that just saying the word Pakistan lands you in trouble.
Yeah.
That's seditious.
Thanks. So, Manisha, please now tell us what is happening in Gujarat.
The city is being cleaned up.
Thanks
Lots of
God.
money is being spent. Trump wanted 7 million people. Now he wants 10.
He doesn't want them.
He
This is
said,
the kind of promise that has been
"आएंगे."
made कि 7
मेरे को बोला
million
गया
लोग
7 लोग आएंगे फिर 10
million
million
लोग अहमदाबाद में
and then he
रहते
says
नहीं हैं।
whatever 7 to 10 million के बीच में 3 million
Krishna,
people can just like
but in all
Listen,
fairness,
official had to issue a statement saying कि 1 से 2 लाख लोग expect करो. I mean, like it's come down
what
to
I
this.
don't understand is, why don't the US guys who are going at Trump use this to discredit him? Because it's so easy to make him sound like a bullshitter that it keeps going up. Secondly, I don't think Modi would have promised him this. You know, Modi, how he talks, कि भारत के 120 करोड़ लोगों,
Exactly. It's a
गुजरात
very
के 5
hyperbolic
करोड़.
way of saying
He's
कि-
just saying that, so he's saying 70 lakh people of Ahmedabad are waiting to welcome you.
Exactly.
Now, you know, our genius in US thought literally waiting to welcome me, matlab they are standing there to welcome me.
Yeah.
It's not just कि my heart is with you. He thinks actually आपको कलेजा serve होगा. So I think that's a fuck up that's happened.
You've nailed it.
But
That's
he's-
exactly what has
What's on
gone
the-
on.
Trump is
What's
known for
on
this. No?
the-
Even his inauguration, he like inauguration numbers.
Yeah, he fucking inflated them.
Yeah.
Like
I mean, like
huge.
his own,
his own-
Yeah, and it was on
was,
photo and video. You
Yeah.
could just see
the
he was
empty
lying.
chairs,
He
the
said there were
white.
more than for Obama, and the
Yeah,
aerial
yeah.
picture showed that. Yeah.
Yep.
What's on the menu though? It's not. There's not going to be much trade talk, right? I mean,
Oh, I
or
thought you
there's some
meant
confusion.
like literally what's like
No.
khakra fafra.
Because he said that there's going to be no talk. Trump.
There's one meeting with Modi.
we've
but,
been saying that there's going to be.
but it doesn't seem like there is going to be any kind of trade talk. But it's mostly like shosha and quite ceremonial, so to say. So
And maybe
museum
for the American elections, the Gujarati NRI can feel.
And maybe
yeah,
Anand-
it's for
excited about.
the
as an academic
NRI vote
and,
bank.
and on these, Anand may be a better voice to give us. I mean, I do think that clearly no specifics are going to come out of this. But does that mean it's useless? I'm not so sure about that.
No, I'm
because I mean, strategically, even the optics of it may help us, in our dealing with Pakistan. But yes, I think we can be fairly certain that nothing specific will come out of this, because even the usual very pro-Modi commentators have already started writing that how, even if nothing comes out of it, this is a coup. So clearly nothing will come out of it, because if that's...
One key thing, development that happened is a week before Trump came, his trade representative, which is the commerce minister, was supposed to come here to lay the ground for all the deals. He didn't come. He cancelled the meeting.
yeah.
Oh, I see.
So which is
that's
So now
which
it's-
is an indication that it's not
Now
going to
it's
happen.
very, very ceremonial because Ivanka Trump is coming, her husband.
But isn't that a good thing? If the whole family is coming, that means you're important, right?
Both these people
but
thrive on
it's-
it. I mean,
yeah,
both
I mean,
Modi
like
and
they're doing
Trump.
what they do best.
I have another quick email. This is from Chetan. Hi guys, I keep subscribing on an ad hoc basis because of Abhinandan's taunts about coffee and cigarettes and 300 ka kacha, I'm not sure.
कच्चा हुआ है कुलचा तो 300 का नहीं आता.
पता कह नहीं सकते आजकल. लिट्टी चोखा आ जाता है 150 का है.
हाँ, okay.
These taunts might work better if you also use biryani, McDonald's and KFC. Not all people smoke 300 worth ka cigarette. Well, that's a very good point, Chetan. So guys, 300 rupees a month, because we don't take advertising, is is as much as a biryani. So
Less maybe when you're ordering a mutton biryani or something.
Okay, I guess mutton biryani $500. So
Also depends on where you
मैं
are.
तो शाहीन बाग जाके free खाता हूँ, sorry. but worth a cigarette. So yeah, so do subscribe.
McDonald's से नहीं कर सकते. McDonald's is damn cheap, yeah.
No,
Can't
but
compare
still,
with McDonald's.
But that's good for you. At least we are good for you.
Yeah. At least we won't harm you. the way
NL team, as
McDonald's
always,
does.
keep up the good work. Hafta 263 was very good, especially because of the diverse subscriber presence. We have such brilliant subscribers.
Yeah.
And they
seriously.
write
Articulate people.
and they explain so much to us that I feel that like a sponge, I am soaking in all the powers of the subscribers, and soon I'll be all powerful and I'll more wisdom. I'll rule over you and you shall kiss my feet. But until then, please subscribe and pay to keep news free, because when the public pays, the public is served, and when advertisers pay, advertisers are served. So yes, so please weigh in first, guest.
On the permanent commission.
Actually, before you tell us about, you've been doing podcasts with Quint for how long now?
For almost, no, I haven't even completed a year. So it's been quite recent, yeah.
And what is your interest in podcasts because of? You discovered podcasts recently. Why, how, what?
It was actually through my husband, because he's big time into podcasts, and
Is he a subscriber of Hafta?
Yes.
Oh, great.
He is.
Oh.
He's a big Meghnad fan, and I actually stalked him at the Media Rumble because I was there. I don't know if he ever shared that story, but I had to leave a note saying that, hey, I was really trying to get in touch with you, and I was really hoping I'll see him here today, but I think he's traveling.
You tell us
He's
when,
having
yeah?
fun in Sri Lanka next time.
For subscribers, we shall send Meghnad over to interview your husband. हम तो subscribers के लिए कुछ भी कर देंगे.
So-
हम घर भेज देंगे.
We are very loyal followers of Newslaundry content,
thank
and I
you
love
so much.
Manisha's work here.
you.
That's
Excellent,
amazing.
yeah. She's
and
really
Anand
good.
Vardhan's pieces as well.
Shelly, tell us about this Supreme Court verdict and what is your view?
So I will be very honest, I didn't know that there was no kind of parity between men and women in the Indian Army. I just assumed कि हाँ सब equality है वहाँ पे, until this whole government thing came about, why the government was opposed to the idea of having women being given the permanent commission and all of that. So their argument was that it is occupational hazard and physiological limitations for women in answering the call beyond duty of the army. And also the point that you made right in the beginning of the podcast, that men cannot take orders and they're not prepared to. And yeah, so it clearly says how we are still living in that society, and though it feels like everything is hunky-dory, where it is still so patriarchal that women are not able to get the same roles and same kind of level that they can reach as the men go. But yeah, what is more interesting is that this order was sort of this battle has been going on since 2003, and in 2010, which is 10 years ago, the government, the High Court had passed the ruling in favor of having the women get the permanent commission. But it's only now, and even then Supreme Court had ordered to uphold it, but only now it has been made possible that it has gone through. So yeah, it's pretty unfortunate that is the center's sort of position when it comes to how women should be looked at. But yeah, it's a good thing that has happened. We actually had Gul Panag write about it on the Quint, and I had never thought about it, but she wrote about how she would have joined the army, but because she is a daughter of an army man, she very well knew the kind of as in she
It's
was
not a career that would take her anywhere, right?
She knew that she would always be at a disadvantage as compared to her male counterparts. So that's not a career that she opted for. So I'm sure there were a lot of other army kids who, army girls, who didn't probably think of it as a career option because they saw it as a disadvantage.
Like you said, this isn't just a problem with the army. It's a problem in newsrooms. It's a problem in corporate India. But I think it's criminal that the central point here was that women weren't allowed permanent commission. Even after 10 years of service, if you're still not given permanent commission, I think it's just crazily unequal. What the Supreme Court now is saying is that you can give them combat roles or command and control roles.
And I'm not sure about combat roles, but you can give them command
if you
position.
Not combat, command roles.
Also, this is
depends
one way
on the
to-
capability,
Yeah.
but that's another matter at all. But not being given permanent commission despite working for 10 years, it's ridiculous.
But I'm surprised
It's
that
ridiculous.
was true for doctors in the army as well, or were
Yeah.
doctors given? Even women
Everyone,
doctors.
even in lawyers and
wow.
all this. So I think it's really.
I mean, this is one
And
way
men
to,
will
if
just
you,
have to
you have
learn,
a
yeah.
problem that these kinds of
Right.
problems exist, one way to do it is to do this, to have these structures in place. Like, I mean, this was one of the arguments back in the day for reservation also, because these people won't, like the marginalized classes and castes, they won't succeed.
Integrate.
So have affirmative action, put them there. So take it from there.
Yeah.
And this is also, I mean, one of the things about the army is also how much power, I mean, these are things that you hear when you're in a cant. The army officer's wife, there's a joke, right? Like the army officer's wife and dogs and kids are as important as the army officer in connection to orderlies, having so I don't know. I mean, if you look at it that way, I don't think there are also institutions in the army where a soldier is with the family and has to take orders from the army officer's wife or children.
Yeah,
and that's unfair, and I know it's completely separate, but I don't think it's a good enough reason that they can't take orders
But
from
again, we are
women.
living in the land of Krishna Swarup Das Ji of Swami Narayan Bhuj Mandir, who has said that if you're menstruating and you're cooking, you should be born as a kutri. So,
Menstruating, cooking and feeding that food to your husband, then you'll be born as a bitch.
But even like if you're menstruating and if you enter a kitchen, that's a problem because you'll be born as a bitch in the next war. And if you eat that food, then you're born as then the husband becomes an ox or something.
So what if you're living alone and you don't have, I mean, there's nobody to cook for you? What do?
So that
Starve.
week you
I
don't
mean,
have...
are we really listening to him?
No, I'm saying, I mean, this is just...
that's a great Zomato ad. The week where you order stay free from Kunal Medicos is the week where you order food from Zomato. that should be like for every order of stay free, get 1 week of Zomato 20%
Are you
off
menstruating? Order from Zomato.
hai na? So now we'll end with this last issue of AAP. Now that AAP has won and Arvind Kejriwal sang his song at the swearing in, an AAP MLA, Saurabh Bhardwaj, for those of you who can't identify caste by name, that's a Brahmin name, has organized a Sundarkand, which is a prayer for Bajrang Bali. And he has more recently said that the Ram Janmabhoomi Trust should also build a Hanuman temple in Ayodhya. Now, many people who vote AAP or had hopes from AAP saying that they are going down the soft Hindutva line, and they're saying they're going to turn into another BJP in 5 years. So on this, I would like the panel's view. Why don't you go first, Shelly?
I mean, I almost thought this whole Hanuman Chalisa thing came to them by chance when he was asked about it and he started singing it. And then they thought that, okay, this narrative is working. And also with this whole contrast with when he was called a terrorist and then became like, "Main to aapka beta hoon." So these two things that really emerged as the narrative before the elections, I thought it was going to stop there, but it didn't. So I'm not sure if they'll become a BJP, but they are definitely really going for the soft Hindutva thing. And I don't think it will bode well with the voters in the
I think
coming
about
days.
the Hanuman Chalisa thing, Manisha has a theory that it wasn't spontaneous.
It wasn't?
I don't think it was.
Okay.
What? Arvind singing?
Being asked to sing it, I don't think it was.
I mean, it seemed like that from the but it could have very well been planted, but yeah.
So
I have two things to say. Now, were you asking me? Or did I just jump in? मैं बताऊँ मैं क्या सोचती हूँ. So I think one is that I don't think reciting Hanuman Chalisa or keeping a Sundarkand is Hindutva. By that logic, throwing iftar parties or that's Islamist. So I don't think practice. And we've always had Indian politicians. I don't know what secularism people talk of when they talk about India. Politicians have always used religion, Gandhi being the biggest. But I do think that if Saurabh Bhardwaj can hold a Sundarkand, then Amanatullah should also be, no one should frown upon him having like public namaz on Friday, every Friday of the month or whatever, or any, sort of.
Right.
I think so I'm not sure if AAP will give Amanatullah that space or if they'd be okay with that. So one, I think that's the problem. I don't see a problem with Sundarkand as such.
Then it comes down to the soft Hindutva bit, no?
I don't think it's soft Hindutva to practice your religion on your... I mean, I just don't think that's...
I mean, if it is not
People-
going to
I mean,
give
by that-
Amanatullah that space, then you are just going for one kind
But
of...
I don't know if Amanatullah wants that space. So, I mean, I'm just saying that...
Just, as you were saying,
theoretically...
just having a
yeah.
Sundarkand is not Hindutva.
Yeah, for me it's not. But I
But
think
RSS has taken notice because in their in the organizer they have written about it and I think they're happy with it. I don't know.
That's fine. But I think his
Ayodhya.
stance on Ayodhya is quite problematic because look at the guys who have been selected on the panel. These are guys who were part of the destruction of Babri Masjid, which was a criminal act, according to Supreme Court. I think a party like AAP should be picking up those issues more than saying, oh, now we want a big Hanuman statue. And I think this could really backfire for them, because if you're going down the BJP route, BJP tomorrow will not shy away from saying कि हमें काशी मथुरा में भी अपना मंदिर चाहिए. या tomorrow if there's a Hanuman idol unearthed under Qutub Minar, they will not shy away from saying pull down Qutub Minar and build a Hanuman statue. They'll go the whole hog. What will Saurabh say? So I think it's a tricky. I think the Ayodhya position is quite problematic.
But the Sundarkand is not.
Just having a Sundarkand every month, or having a Saraswati Puja, or like I think they're in Bengal, Mamata is kind of taking over the whole Kali Puja thing as, you know, her weapon against Hindutva in Bengal. I don't think by that's problematic for me.
Yeah, I agree with. I mean, this part of the world especially is a deeply religious place. I mean, that's one of your primary identities. So just because you become a public figure, you suddenly have to be irreligious. That kind of secularism doesn't work in India, and that's not expected also. Complete separation of church and state. But the larger point is, I mean, then you have to see it in context. Why is this particular chap trying to do it in this particular way after the election? Because he's trying to, I mean, it's obvious he's trying to use BJP's sort of narrative against them. Whether it will be successful, whether it's the right thing to do or not, that we'll see going up. But the other point Manisha was making about this guy is doing this, Amanatullah Khan might not want to do like something similar. Why not?
Why not?
That talks about a larger problem in this country, because he's self-censoring.
Right.
Like I was talking about earlier, these people have taken that
space,
field of ideas, that space so much that even when you are doing nothing that's out of the ordinary, you think twice about it, how it's going to reflect. So that's a problem. And then the bigger problem when he's talking about installing a Hanuman statue, and that's fine. I mean, if they want to do that. What they should be talking about is that the people who demolished the Babri Masjid, they are sitting on that board, and they have been given the task of building the temple.
And one thing, pertaining to Amanatullah, so before the elections, he did a speech where he basically invoked Allah and said ki Allah ke naam, no, not Allah ke naam.
Allah ke naam.
That would be begging.
But that's what Times now spun it as. RSS was like, he's asking for votes in the name of the one true Lord. How can he do this? They were actually quite angry with, I mean, this is the state of the media, that he generally just invoked Allah and saying Allah dikhega jo insaf ke raste pe and all that. Yeah.
That talks about a larger problem in this country.
Yeah, that was the Delhi election. The attempt was to polarize it like UP. It didn't work here. And I don't think it'll work in most urban centers. And right now, there's an NL Sena project where Pratik only will be going, and he'll be spending about 12 to 15 days. And I spoke about this earlier, this Chhattisgarh's Adivasi prisoners, to see how they are treated in this whole cleanup of Maoism. And like I said, it takes 2 to 3 weeks to just travel there, then another week, 10 days to write the story. So
and
unless you guys contribute,
we
can't
not just
do such
that,
reports.
it's very rarely you'll find stories like this in the what we call the mainstream media
and legacy media. You won't,
because there are no
Otherwise they get
TRPs with
lost.
this, there is no ads with this, so yeah.
On that note, do remember to subscribe to Newslaundry, pay to keep news free, because when the public pays, the public is served. When advertisers pay, advertisers are served. Write in to us with your comments and critique on contact@newslaundry.com. I repeat, contact@newslaundry.com. I learn a lot from your emails. I learn a lot from your critique. And I would really appreciate a lot more of that coming. If you have any abuse to leave, we have 3 wonderful people here who are on Twitter. You can just leave the abuse on their Twitter timeline. Until next time, thank you for coming, Shelly.
Thank you.
Pleasure.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you.
Thanks,
you.
Anand. Take care. Have fun. Enjoy weekend, guys. Bye.
Bye.
सुन लिया अफ्रीका मुफत खोरों. Not to brag or anything, but Newslaundry Hafta features in the top 50 in the world on SoundCloud in the news and politics category for podcasts. So do subscribe and see what you're missing, because when the public pays, the public is served. When advertisers pay, advertisers are served. Subscribe, help keep news independent and free.
All Newslaundry podcasts are available on iTunes and Stitcher and any other podcast platform.